I'm home. Welcome back to my channel. I've been watching a gal on Instagram imitating Martha Stewart in the slowest and most dramatic fashion. It made me realize that I jump into my videos too quickly and talk fast as my photos whisk by too quickly because I don't know what I'm doing. But I'm learning, and I will find that girl's information and share it with you because I know you'll find her very entertaining. So that's me jumping into my videos real quick. I'm going to get that girl's information for you so you can watch her on YouTube or Instagram. She is so funny. She does Martha Stewart perfectly. I love to sit out on my porch, and about a week ago I was sitting out there and this came up, and the rain was coming down pretty steadily and it didn't get up on the porch, so I didn't get wet. So I sat out there and videoed it for you. I like to listen to those videos at night when I'm in bed that have the thunder and lightning and rain. It just makes me go to sleep so quickly, and I just love them. So I thought I'd show you guys this little rainstorm before we get into the video. And you remember the Flow Blue plate? Well, actually, it's a bowl. I'm messing up already. I gave that to my niece the other day so she could start her collection of Flow Blue, and she really liked it. And it made me happy to be able to pass it on and start her tradition like Mrs. Mocklet did for me. At the thrift store the other day, I saw another one of these little houses. I had this little metal house when I was little, and like I said, I don't need another project, but it's funny, I've been finding them. Every time I go to the thrift store, I'm seeing one. It's kind of weird. I don't know if it's real old, but it was only $4.99. Then I saw this real pretty, I think I would call it a olive oil bottle and maybe a Parmesan sprinkler, because it was a pretty big sprinkler and it had, the bigger holes. So I think it was for Parmesan cheese. It was really, really pretty. And then someone had donated their whole Longaberger collection, a huge collection. I've never been a fan of Longaberger, and it's because there's so many baskets that look like it that you have to look at a tag to tell if it's Longaberger. But I know a lot of people collect it, and they had quite a bit, and they had these two picnic baskets, and they were very pretty, and they weren't priced too high, I didn't think. Then I saw this pretty, I would call it like an olive tray or pickle plate. That's what I would use it for. But I looked on the bottom and it said it was a candle tray. But I don't know. It didn't say anything about not using it for food. Then I saw this pretty little relish dish for 99 cents that just stopped my heart. But I have a lot of these, so I passed. And I love green, and I love anything made in Portugal. And this had like a bamboo design around the edge, but they only had 2 plates, so I didn't get them. But they were made in Portugal, and they were green. And then I found this big copper pot with a lid. I just don't have room to display a pot like this, but I think they wanted $10 for it. And then the roosters and chickens, I'm always a fool for those. I didn't purchase this one because I don't need it, but it's cute. Then I found some green courier knives. I forgot about the green. I guess the blue's the one that always stood out to me, but they only had this one random little plate. And then I've been seeing on Pinterest and in magazines where they take the milk glass and put candles in them, and they have the most beautiful glow at night. Now, this picture coming up is from Pinterest. I don't know who to credit with this picture, but it's very pretty. If it's your picture, let me know. I wanted to show you, I was working on some miniatures, how I do my little crocks the easy way. I print out a picture of a crock, I glue it onto cardstock, and I roll it up around a dowel. And I tape it off, and then I cut it to the shape, and I stand it up in the corner of my miniature project. Now, that's the easy way to do a crock. These are the ones I've made with clay. They're a little bit more difficult. These are ones that I cut out of a magazine and shaped them around a dowel and set them down on the corner on the floor. These are sitting on the floor of one of my antique shops. And they tend to look a little bit more real when they're real pictures. But here's some that I made, and I think they look real too, and they actually have holes in them. You could put things in them, and these are made out of clay that I made. And I don't know. It's just another way of doing a miniature. When you take pictures of them, they look really cute and really realistic in the pictures. And these are some flowers out on my patio. I know I've told you before that I'm a sucker for orange roses because whether it's on fabric or out of my garden or these silk ones, they take me back to 1968 when my brother was born and my dad gave my mom a bouquet of orange plastic roses. So, you know how a smell or a photo or a vision can take you back. Well, I'm flipping through Facebook the other night and this dress popped up. It's mint green, has this little fluffy sleeves with a tie. When I was 12 years old, my mom and my aunt and I were going to a wedding and we ordered dresses out of a catalog. This is me in 1975. I was 12. I think it was probably the Sears catalog or Penny's, Montgomery Ward's. But I had a long mint green dress with a little jacket that tied in the front. Mom had a wild red print and Aunt Kathy had the navy blue and polka dot. And when we went to get our hair done that day, the girl that did our hair was Sherry Wolf at the time. Her name's Sherry Hunter now. And she said, "Hey, Marcy." I took my dress to show her what it looked like. And she said, "Hey, Marcy, let me call my mom." She said, "I have a big green hat that would match your dress." And Sherry's still a friend of mine. She watches my channel. So thank you, Sherry. I'll never forget how wonderful I felt that day wearing Sherry Wolf's hat on my head at that wedding. It just meant the world to me. I felt so special. So I guess fashion does come back around, and this one stopped me. And then I decorated a little bit more for summer, put some cards out in my wooden bowl that I painted blue, and I found my old George Washington card. It was my grandma's, and it's in pretty bad shape, but I love summer. I love to put out red, white, and blue. My flow blue looks good with summer. Red looks good with it. This was a book someone brought into my store to sell, and I ended up buying it. It's called Telling Tommy about the days that we celebrate. And this was a couple years ago. I set it on I had an old sewing machine base, and I just put a little slab of a couple boards across it and made a little table for my porch. And I set that little thing out there, that book, when it wasn't raining. And then I was looking at my shutters the other day, and from far away they didn't look bad, but up close, oh my gosh, I washed them and they were faded out and had spots on them. So I ran to Menards, and believe it or not, I forgot to take one of my shutters, and I handpicked the paint sample myself, and when I got home it was perfect. I don't know how I did that. They hadn't been painted for about 8 years, and I put a real quick coat of paint on them, and they really do look better from the road. It's kind of a rusty red color. And then my hollyhocks that I planted from seed last year are coming up. Now, they didn't bloom last year. Hollyhocks from seed will only bloom the second year, so I'm hoping for some blooms this year. There's some volunteer sunflowers coming up right in the grass. I told my husband don't mow them down because they're going to just be popping up everywhere. And then I went around and I have these huge hostas, huge sedum plants. They're just too big. I don't like my plants getting too big. So I went around and stole from all of my plants and took starts from them and ended up planting about 12 new starts in front of my porch. I never had too much in front of the porch, so this is going to fill it out really nice. And I know I told you in one of my first videos that I take perennials and put them in flower pots, and I just pulled this out of the shed the other day, and it's looking really good. It's got 3 different old perennials in it. And then there's one of my little sprigs of hosta that I pulled out of one, and that'll get really big. And this is a sedum, Autumn Joy. Those are so easy to transplant. You just pull one of the little pieces out of the ground. They kind of grow separately, and they're really hardy. You can't kill them. So you can plop one of those in the ground just about anywhere, and by next year I'll have a big old 24-inch circle of them. I even put some in flower pots. This is a flower pot I leave out all year, and it'll come up next year. And this is a version of Black-Eyed Susan. I can't remember the name of it, but I pulled a little start from it about a week ago, and it's already blooming. And then this is my hollyhock. It's a double pink ruffled hollyhock that was grown from a root. If you go to the garden centers and ask for a hollyhock root, you can plant it and it will grow the first year. Seeds won't. They take 2 years to bloom. But when you plant them from a root, you'll get hollyhocks the first year. And this is another daisy. I'm not exactly sure the name of it, but I took a little start from it and put it out front. And this is one that one of my friends gave me, and she only gave me 2 starts of it about 5 years ago, and it spreads everywhere, and it's just beautiful, and it blooms pretty much all summer. Can't remember the name of it. If you guys know the name, put it down below. Anyway, I just go around and steal. This was some ivy kind of like stuff, ground cover, that I also got from a friend about 2 years ago. Just put a few sprigs in the ground and it's covered my whole front garden. And I love it because then all the colorful stuff shows up really good against it. And there's some lamb's ear down in there that's kind of got full. It's covered up, but I don't care because I don't care for lamb's ear. But these are some... I can't remember the name of this flower. Oh, it's a beautiful one that's getting ready to bloom right now. Gosh darn it, I can't remember the name of it. I think it's I can't remember. This is a hydrangea. One of them just finished blooming. This one's getting ready to bloom. It's pretty orange, and then I've got a pink one beside it. My ferns are doing really good. I did the Epsom salt, a couple tablespoons of Epsom salt, and it really helped. Then for the pedestals on each side of my garage, I got smart this year, and instead of buying 2 $20 pots, I bought a huge pot for $19, and I split it in half. And then this is my table on my patio with a pretty pot that I found at a thrift store. And there's my tablecloth I found at a thrift store for 50 cents. It was brand new. I just love it. I change my tablecloth quite a bit because in the summer I go through about 3 tablecloths because they fade out. So yeah, I just went around and stuck my George Washington decorations around and my Abraham Lincoln, and I'm enjoying the soft muted colors of the fabrics that I've found this year thrifting and the baskets that I found this year. I put them on my porch. You got to think outside the box. Like when I bought this red basket, I knew it would sit out on my porch, and this green one during summer because they're summer colors. So I sat out on the porch the other day, and it was getting close to evening time, and we were getting some dark clouds, but all my flowers that I planted were looking for some rain. So I'm going to show you a little rainstorm we had here in a minute, but all of these did really well. And here's the storm clouds rolling in. This was just this morning. I got up and I watered those really good yesterday when I replanted them, but I thought, man, we could really use some rain. And here it is. It was windy. It came up so fast, and I had to go in the house because the wind was blowing so hard. The rain was coming up on the porch and getting my camera wet. But I wanted to show you guys, and I'm so glad because my new starts will do really well. And then my nephew and I popped into the Mission yesterday, thrift store, and I got this little green apple. It's real heavy. It's not a stone apple, but it's heavy. And then as we were going out the door, he grabbed me some old books. This one's called Africa by Many Writers. I've already looked at it, and it's very interesting. He thought this was neat. Kevin's mother, her real name is Leah Doris, and this book said Leah of Jerusalem, and Brad said, oh, that's Grandma's real name. So I'm going to enjoy reading that book. And then he found this one, and it's about algebra. I won't be reading this one, but it's a pretty book, and it's black, exercises in algebra. Yeah, we'll just save that for later. And then in the free bin, they had these little saucers that were missing the cups, and I took them because I saw a thing on Pinterest where they took like a dowel rod or a stake and used like E6000 glue and made these little double-sided flowers out of plates and stuck them in the garden. So I'm going to try it. I don't know how they'll turn out, but they were free, so they're going to be my test. And then I want to thank you guys. I'm going to work this week on the Elvis project, and I'll be showing you that. And I'm getting information together about our local murder mystery, and I want to get that video ready for you guys in the next coming weeks. And I love you so much, and I hope you're having a wonderful start to your summer. Go out and find the beauty in every day.